What if ZAMAZENTA was in Gen 1 OU? Now, like, at the time of this being recorded, ZAMAZENTA was just banned, or not banned, it was voted to not get banned from Gen 9 OU. And I am not happy about that, because I find this thing very annoying. But it is a fighting type. And fighting types, just by existing, just kind of suck in Gen 1. And, like, hot take, I'm pretty sure this won't be one of those fighting types that has access to like low kick or high jump kick. So how good would it be in Gen 1 OU? Only one way to find out. Now starting off, like, don't get it twisted, like, even though, like, if you put this thing in, like, Gen 1 OU, and when you see it, like, you know, like, during custom games, it's going to say it has a base special of 80, but it's going to, for damage calculations, it's going to use that special of 115. So that's what we're going to be going over. Not to mention, it's a legendary, it deserves that one anyways. So yeah, a defense and a special defense of 115. As you can imagine, that's pretty massive and a big deal. Same with that attack stat, because 120 is really good. It is even better than Tauros. And with 138 speed, it makes it faster than pretty much everything in the metagame, minus Electrode. So, also meaning it has a really good crit rate as well. So far, this guy has a, like, either to your surprise or not to your surprise, he has a lot of good things going for him. His lowest stat would be, gosh darn, 92. Like, this dude doesn't have any weaknesses. Or, I mean, he does, they're just not in base stats. But yeah, this dude is fast, he hits decently hard, especially with crits. And he, is just, like, very fast and tanky. Like, this dude just doesn't die. He really doesn't. So, obviously he does have some issues though. Like, fighting typing is still not very ideal. Especially in a metagame dominated by psychic types. They kinda, you know, ruin everything. So now you just kinda, you have a big weakness. However, with 115, you know, special, you are going to have a much better time tanking it than most other stuff. But what moves does he have? Because this is where he really kind of starts to fall flat though. Although I would argue it's a good thing, because he'd be too overpowered if he didn't have limited moves. But yeah, as you can see here, most of these are just from like other gens. Other than Slash. I didn't notice he had Slash. You know, normally I would like, okay, I'm kind of considering redoing the video, but I don't think it really matters that much, because with Slash, like, okay, he hits a lot harder with that. I am sad I didn't notice that earlier, but I think the main purpose of using this guy, I still think I did a good job with the replays. I'm just gonna keep going on as is. So obviously he has Body Slam and Hyper Beam, although I think now realizing that as Slash, you can probably get rid of Hyper Beam for just some more. Yeah, just get rid of this. Yeah, Slash is probably better. So just remember that if you try to use something yourself. But also, he has Agility, which, considering how fast he is, obviously you want to keep that speed. So, you know, like, if you get paralyzed, I think Agility is good just to get rid of, you know, the paralysis debuff. And he has dual screens. And I honestly think that these are a must-have. I don't know about together, but using at least one of them, it's sort of like how Eternatus or Eternamax was used in pure Hackmons, where you just choose one stat to just max, or obviously in Gen 1 everything's maxed, but you just choose one of them and then you choose that screen, and you just become pretty much unkillable to all things of that type. Although if we do it like that, this would only really be the case with the defense tab, or the defense stat, where you're truly unkillable, because obviously with Psychic, you know, it's not as good, at least not unkillable, but also you can argue that with Psychic, you know, it might be better to use Light Screen over Reflect, because that way you can just survive more turns, which means more turns to either get a paralysis, a body slam, or just good consistent damage with Slash. Although, like, if you want to say, like, let's say go after Tauros, I can very well also see just doing something like using both. Like, sure, if you get paralyzed, it kind of sucks. But also, with both screens, you're probably not going to die anyways. Hell, maybe even like get rid of one of these and also have rest as well. I could see this being like a decently like well strategy, where you're just sort of immortal and you can just damage anything that isn't Rhydon or Gengar. Did a lot of game replays of those, because as you just saw there, Slash, Body Slam, and Hyper Beam are like its only moves. Like it has Dig, but that's banned. So yeah, along with having a huge weakness to Psychic types, it just gets completely walled by Gengar and Rhydon. Which, you know what? I think that's a good thing. I think this guy would be too good if, he had like good moves as well. So, I think that's about it for like, looking at like his stats and his moves. I think it's actually pretty good, despite, him being a fighting type. Not better than Goyer and Zapdos, of course. But like, he's not really being used as a fighting type in the first place. It's just sort of there to give him a handicap. Like, if this dude was like, even without any like way to hit Gengar, I think if this dude was like a normal type, he would be too broken and probably put the like Ubers or something. But let's start looking at the replays, shall we? We don't have that many this time around. Starting with Tauros. Being fast at everything is also huge, especially for, just getting the screen you want. But this, depending on which one you use, does, massively, help you against whatever you're fighting. And even for the one you're not using, like, even there, like, you saw Blizzard, that was a crit. It didn't really do that much. But you can take 2 critical Blizzards easily. Although you're obviously going to be worried about, a freeze. But, yeah, those defenses are really helpful. Especially when, like, I think the only physical move that it's even going to threaten you is just going to be Drill Pick from Zapdos, and just Drill Pick exactly. Other than that, yeah, there's like nothing that can really kill you. Although, it still might be useful having Reflect, just so that you don't have to worry about, like, that way you just take as little damage as possible, or you, like, just force whatever you're going up against this beat, where they have to switch out. And yeah, Hyper Beam probably isn't the best thing, so yeah, definitely use Slash. Use Slash instead. It's more consistent, and against normal types, you kill them a lot faster. But I'm not really sure why when Slash though. Rosashian I can get, but it's a shield Pokemon. So what's it slashing with? Also, it's a dog. And here we have an example of Light Screen. Probably the... Okay, not the only one. There's also, like, Cloyster. But, yeah. That Ice Beam only did 9%. Which is insane. And obviously, you crit. So, Chansey... Like, at least with a Light Screen, it can't really hurt you. But even without a Light Screen, it would do, like, what? 18%? That's really, like, reasonable. Easy for you to take it out. So, yeah, like, thank goodness this guy doesn't have a way to really fight against, Rhydon, Gengar, and just, well, as you're about to see here, even with, Light Screen, still, gets hurt pretty badly by Psychic moves. Now, I had to make a lot of different replays, because Alakazam kept on critting, and a critical Psychic does one-shot Zamazenta. So, like, keep that in mind. You can very easily get messed up. You did well there, but you also didn't really get paralyzed. Like, and also, like, Alakazam got paralyzed, too. So, like, he might have won in this replay, but I have, like, way more that was just Alakazam winning. So, Alakazam has a much better, much better time with that matchup. But, even though, like, Light Screen didn't, like, help him, like, just easily tank them, as you saw, it, like, at least helped it survive, like, at least, like, I think a few more moves, which did give it a chance to, maybe get a Body Slam in it, or could be your chance to get some, like, critical slashes in. So, it's pretty good. I guess it's just, do you want more survivability against your weaknesses, or do you just want to be a complete wall to any and every, like, physical, Pokemon? I guess it mostly just depends on what your team needs, If your team loses more to, like, physical Pokemon, obviously Reflect is better. Or maybe you run both. And maybe Sweet Moves and Eggy are just too much for you no matter what. Like, that is with a Light Screen. And that still does 30%. Like, Eggy just hits way too hard. So there's not much you can really do there. Which, unfortunate, but I don't think anyone's really surprised. I also had him with Jolteon, but I decided not really too important. TLDR, Light Screen does really well, and Zamazenta probably wins. Meanwhile, against Jinx, also I'm realizing right now I forgot to make a tier list, but I'll do them real quickly after the last two replays. Won't be that big a deal. But unlike other second types, you could take a few more hits than you normally would with Jinx, assuming you don't get any special drops. And I did get a little, like, paranoid there. I figured I probably couldn't survive another Psychic. So with this replay in particular, ZAMAZENTA could have gone for a Body Slam, and then, you know, like, I use Hyper Beam. Although, like, ZAMAZENTA definitely got lucky this time, waking up, like, relatively early. Most of the time, Jinx is a much better matchup. Alright, and then I think the last two is Starmie and Zapdos. And Starmie, it's not too much different. To be honest, I might have been wasting my time paralyzing. I'm not sure if Psychic types will actually do that. I feel like they might. Even if ZAMAZENTA has agility, it still could be like, you know, like at least for one turn you have a hit first. Or at the very least, like, having the force in the wasted turn going for agility could be pretty good. But yeah. ZAMAZENTA, like, you know, just still, like, pretty much uses every Psychic type. Which, like, again, like, last time I'll say this, but that's definitely a good thing. This guy would be way too broken if, like, he could even take on those two. So that's why I feel like even with, like, ZAMAZENTA crowned, even if you, didn't give it a signature move, just with the steel typing alone, it might just be too broken. Just being able to, like, you know, take second moves neutrally. Not to mention having even higher defenses. Like, yeah, you're suddenly weak to Earthquake, but then, like, you're also not, like, super weak to special moves anymore. So now, like, Reflect is probably just a guaranteed. And I'm not sure how much that would do. But I am 100% willing to, like, you know, 100% willing to make a video on it. On, Zacian Crown, if you guys really want it. Okay, but let's quickly, make a tier list real quick. What did I do last? Oh yeah, Mega Beedrill. Yeah, look at the little guy there. Okay, these guys are already unwinnable. Good. Switching you to good. We're switching out the Psychic types to bad. Would Eggy be unwinnable? It probably would. Oh, and you too. Meanwhile, Great would be... probably Chansey. Would Tauros be... I think it would... Yeah, I know. Actually, yeah. This might be a little... Okay, this might be a little too... What's the word? What's the word? Not positive. Optimistic. Yeah, optimistic. Because, like, Chansey can still freeze. Tauros is Tauros. Like, depending on the Snorlax. Or Snorlax probably stays either way. But these two, you could probably convince we can go in good matchups. But, yeah, here's the tier list for ZAMAZENTA. I honestly wasn't expecting to be as good as it was. I was expecting to be a good or decent, but not like, not like to this level. Although, like, I guess with how many, like, counters are in the meta for it, I guess, maybe it's not as good as I think. What do you think? Do you think this Shield Doggo would be OU? I definitely think it would be. And even if it has only normal moves, I'm assuming Crown would actually get banned. But what do you guys think? And what type of role would you like to suggest? And also, do you think Zacian Hero will get banned from Gen 9 OU eventually? I really hope it does, because I hate it. And that's part of the reason why I'm spending so much more time with Gen 9. Because I just do not like a lot of power creep with Gen 1. I don't like a lot of power creep with Gen 9. It upsets me. But that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. This is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.